Right, students, very good evening to all of you.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, good
Good
evening.
evening, sir.
Hi, good evening. Hi, students. Students, shall we start the discussion or wait for some time?
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Very good evening to all of you. Shall we start or wait for some time?
Start, sir. We are ready to listen.
Are you okay?
Yes, sir.
Only 59 members are there in the class. What happened? Morning, how many members attended the class?
70 members, I think, now break, na, that is why they left. Again, their class will start, na? They will join.
Right, students. Yes, very good evening and welcome to lesson number 7, Techniques of Teaching Grammar.
Page number 70.
68. Students, is it my third class or fourth class?
Third class, sir.
Third class, sir. Third, na?
Is only my third class or fourth class?
This is your third class, sir.
Third class.
One class you left.
I took
Fourth
a, it is fourth class, I think.
Yeah.
Sir, that day you left because of disturbance.
Left because
Sir,
of disturbance.
first day you have left for because of disturbance, sir.
No, I took the class because of you only. I went.
Yeah,
Because,
sir. Because of us, we are disturbed you and you left, sir.
No, this is my fourth class. So I
Yeah.
think tomorrow will be my fifth class, right?
Yes, sir.
I have to done almost 6 units, and I know up to 15th. So today we'll be talking about one of. Yes, be ready, students. Are you ready?
Yes.
Techniques of
Yes,
teaching
sir.
grammar.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Can you switch on your video once, all of you? Be ready. Switch on your video and take notebook and pen. Show your notebook and pens. Be ready with pen and notebook. Yes, very good, very good, very good, very good. Yes, most of you are following already class. Yes, techniques of teaching grammar. Grammar is an important component for English teacher. We should know how to teach grammar. Yes. What do you mean by grammar? Grammar is a set of rules. Grammar is a set of rules uh, which deal with the do's and don't of a language. Do's and don't of a language. Yes. Yes. Simply deals with the correct way or correct order of the words. Correct order of the words is can be called grammar. Yes. It purifies the errors of the language. Grammar purifies the errors of the language. So that as a teacher of English, you should know how to teach grammar. Yes. Basically, you can find some 6 types of grammar. Types of grammar. 6 types of grammar we have in English. Yes, as the teacher of English, you should know 6 types of grammar. 1. Descriptive grammar. Descriptive grammar. What do you mean by descriptive grammar? Yes. It is systematic study and description of a language. systematic study and description of a language. Yes, that means descriptive grammar deals with the structures of the language. Yes, the structures. Yeah, descriptive grammar is the grammar that deals with the structures of the language. The second type of grammar is prescriptive grammar. Prescriptive grammar is like a set of rules. Yes, set of rules. Prescriptive grammar deals with set of rules, which is correct, which is wrong, deals with the set of rules. Number 3, pedagogical grammar. Pedagogy. Pedagogical grammar is explained by David Crystal. David Crystal. Yes. Pedagogical grammar is grammar which is used in schools and colleges. Which is used in schools and colleges. Say, for example, what do you mean by pedagogy? Pedagogy is a science of teaching and learning.
Teaching.
Pedagogy is a science of teaching and learning. Yes. The grammar which is related to teaching and learning is called pedagogical grammar. Pedagogical grammar.
Sir,
Number
what
4.
is second one, sir?
Yes, students, the point that I am giving you now, you should take the course book also. Yeah, I am following the course book order. Your course book order. You can refer the course book and notebook. Yes. Descriptive grammar, prescriptive grammar, pedagogical grammar. Three types. Number 4, reference grammar. Reference grammar. Yes. Again, reference grammar is explained by David Crystal. The grammar that we use as the reference or comprehension. The grammar which is used for reference or comprehension can be called reference grammar. Which is used for reference or comprehension can be called reference grammar. Number 5, theoretical or universal grammar. Theoretical or universal grammar. Yes. That means it deals with the linguistic universal. Yes, linguistic universal. It's the grammar which is very common across the universe. The grammar which is very common across the universe can be called as theoretical or universal grammar. It was popularized by Noam Chomsky, in fact. Popularized by Noam Chomsky. Then number 6, traditional grammar. Traditional grammar. Yes, traditional grammar, it's like, yes, yes. Traditional grammar is the study of
Attitudes and methods.
attitudes and methods that are very traditional, that are very common. Attitudes and methods that are very common. Yes. And these methods are taken from Greek and Latin languages. Greek and Latin languages. These are 6 types of English grammar which we come across as part of the teaching and learning. Now we move to techniques of teaching grammar. Yes, what are the techniques of teaching English grammar? As the teacher of English, this component is very important because you will get a short question on this. Explain the techniques of teaching grammar. Basically, there are 2 techniques of teaching grammar: deductive method, inductive method. there are two methods of teaching grammar, deductive method and inductive method of teaching grammar. Deductive. Deductive method means simply rule is first, examples are later. Rule is first, examples are later. Yes. That means most of the students, most of the teachers, what do they teach is deductive method. They give the rule first, then they give the examples based on the rule. Yes. Say for example, if you are a teacher, you are going to explain the simple present tense, then you start teaching grammar with the structure of simple present tense. Say subject plus verb 1 plus object. Yes, you will give the structure first, and based on the structure, you will give the more examples. Rule is first, examples are later. This is easy to teach. Yes, perhaps almost all the learners learn English grammar easily if you follow deductive method. But reality is concerned, it is unscientific way of teaching. Yes, there is no scientific method in this. Unscientific way of teaching. Simply what you are doing now? You are doing now is you are giving rule and asking
Recording
the students
stopped.
to follow you. Asking the students to follow you. The students' creativity cannot be developed in deductive method of teaching English. It is easy to teach, but unscientific. Yes, giving rule and based on that giving examples. This method is called deductive method of teaching English grammar. Come to the next one, inductive method of teaching English grammar. Inductive, INDUCTIVE. Inductive method of teaching English grammar. That means examples are given first and the rules are given later. Examples are first and rule is later. Yes, this is more scientific method, I can say. Inductive method is more scientific method. Say for example, you will give number of examples. Then based on the example, you will give the rule. Say for example, I go to class every day. She attends English grammar class every morning. They come to my home every week. I like to watch serials every evening. Like this, you will give number of examples. Based on these examples, finally, you will be making the rule. Yes, examples are first and rule is later. This method of grammar teaching is known as inductive method of grammar teaching. Yes, it is scientific method, though it takes lot of time to teach, but students develop their creativity and they learn easily. It sounds scientific. It leads to learner-centered methodology of teaching, and students learn the things in a meaningful way. No by heart system in this. Whereas deductive method, we have by heart system. So these are the two methods of English grammar. Students, now to make you to understand the two methods, just on the notebook, cross the notebook, put one side deductive method, another side inductive method. In between, take the line. I will give the points for these two times. One side deductive method, another side inductive method. Right? In between line, you will see the difference between deductive method and inductive method. Yes, on the notebook, just cross the notebook and put two headings in between. Keep the line.
Okay.
Okay, are you doing?
Okay, sir.
Yeah, sir.
Yes,
We have done.
First point. First point in deductive method. First point in deductive method. Rule is first and examples are later. Rule is first and examples are later. Come to inductive method. Other side, come to inductive method side. Examples are first and the rule is later. Examples are first and rule is later. Right.
Okay.
Second point, deductive. Second point, no creativity. No creativity.
Okay.
Inductive method. It promotes creativity. It promotes creativity. Third point, deductive. Third point, deductive. It promotes by heart system. It promotes by heart system. Inductive. It promotes logical thinking. It promotes logical thinking. It promotes logical thinking. Deductive.
Okay.
Fourth point. Deductive. Fourth point. Easy to teach. Easy to teach. Inductive. Difficult to teach. Difficult to teach.
Finish.
Yes. In deductive, last point. Particularity to generalization. Particularity to generalization. Particularity to generalization. Inductive. Generalization to particularity. Deductive. Last point. Deductive.
Okay.
Deductive. Passive learners. Passive learners. Passive learners. Inductive. Active learners.
Okay.
Right. These are the different ways of
Sir, what is the last point, sir, in detective method?
Passive learners.
passive learners are passive. Whereas
Passive. Okay.
passive learners are active. Right.
Okay.
You feel any difficulty in this?
No,
No.
sir.
Done?
No, sir.
Yes, sir.
This topic is done. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir.
Now lesson number 8. Techniques of teaching vocabulary. Come to lesson number 8. Techniques of teaching vocabulary. Come to lesson number 8. Techniques of teaching vocabulary.
Okay, sir.
Yes, students. In this, we will learn the definition for vocabulary and types of vocabulary and the techniques to teach vocabulary in the classroom. Right?
Yes.
Yes, students. All of you open the notebooks and open the course book and try to note down the points. Students, if you write my points, you no need to go through any other material. Take our discussion and read the complete book. That's all, right? What do you mean by vocabulary? Vocabulary is storage of words. Storage of words. Treasure of words. Yes. And it is very important to learn any language. To learn any language. Yes. The language proficiency of the learners depends on the amount of vocabulary they learn.
So language
Proficiency of the learners depend on the amount of vocabulary they learn. Yes. And for this, we should know the importance of the vocabulary. Yes, vocabulary is useful to communicate well. Communicate well. It is an important part of the communication. Important part of the communication. Yes, for any communication. So that as the teacher of English, you should know different types of vocabulary and the need of vocabulary. How many types of vocabulary we find in our day-to-day life? There are three types of vocabulary. Three types of vocabulary. Active vocabulary, passive vocabulary, ad hoc vocabulary. You can see page number 83 in your course book. Page number 83 in your book, you can see three types of vocabulary.
Yes.
Active, passive, ad hoc vocabulary. Active vocabulary means the words which we use in our day-to-day life. The words which we use in our day-to-day life are called active vocabulary. Active vocabulary. The words which we use in our day-to-day life are called active vocabulary. Yes, it is very common, almost common to all. The second is passive vocabulary. Passive vocabulary is the words which we rarely find. Lucky? The words which we rarely find in listening and also in reading. Listening, also in reading, are called passive vocabulary. The third one, ad hoc vocabulary. Ad hoc vocabulary is also known as instant vocabulary. Instant, I-N-S-T-A-N-T. Instant vocabulary. That means special usage of words. Sometimes
Voice is
special usage of words. Ad hoc vocabulary is also known as instant vocabulary. Special usage of words. That means with specific meanings. The words with specific meanings. Writers, because as part of their writing, they use specific words, separate words. Those words are called ad hoc vocabulary or instant vocabulary.
Sir,
You should
could
know
you
these
repeat
three
once?
importance.
Sir, repeat once, sir. Ad hoc vocabulary.
Ad hoc vocabulary is a special type of vocabulary. Writers and poets use certain words with specific meaning in their writings. Maybe in the poems, maybe in the prose pieces. They use certain words with the purpose of very instant purpose. These words are called
with purpose of
instant purpose. I-N-S-T-A-N-T. Specific purpose. These words are called instant purpose. So that students, you need to understand the difference between active vocabulary and passive vocabulary. Put two headings, active vocabulary and passive vocabulary. In between line, I try to give the definition. I try to give the differences between active vocabulary and passive vocabulary. One side active, other side passive vocabulary. Right? Are you ready with the mark? Are you ready with the book?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes. Active vocabulary one side, passive vocabulary another side. These are the two types of vocabulary, so that you must know the difference between these two vocabularies. Yeah, I'm giving you the points. First one, active vocabulary. The words of everyday communication. The words of everyday communication. Right. Go to passive vocabulary. Under the passive vocabulary, point one. The words which we rarely find. The words which we rarely find. The words which we rarely find. Yes. The second point, active vocabulary. Under the active vocabulary, second point, it deals with speaking and writing skills. It deals with one's speaking and writing skills. One's speaking and writing skills. That means in our speaking, in our writing, the words that we use are called our active vocabulary. Yes. The words that I use in my day-to-day communication from morning to evening, the words are active vocabulary. The words, it deals with one's speaking and writing skill. Go to passive vocabulary. The words that deal with one's listening and a reading skill. One's listening and reading skill. One's listening and reading skill. Third point. Active vocabulary. It is limited. It is limited. Passive vocabulary, unlimited. Unlimited. Active vocabulary.
Active is unlimited, sir.
Students, I am giving you in scientific way. Please. Third point, it is limited. Active vocabulary is limited. Passive vocabulary, unlimited.
Passive.
Next, fourth point, active vocabulary. It is constant. 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 Passive vocabulary. It keeps changes. It keeps changes.
Keeps.
It keeps changes. It is dynamic in nature. It keeps changes, right? These are the two types of vocabulary which we see under this, right?
Okay.
Students, you need to understand one of the important word, collocation. Collocation in page number 80. Page number 80, third point, collocation. For short question, you may get this question. What do you mean by collocation? Collocation. Yes. Collocation means it's like a particular combination. Combination. Collocations are combinations. Yes. Word collocations means word combinations. Yeah. Right. Come to page number 83. 83. In this, some techniques for teaching vocabulary. Yes. As the teacher, you should know how to teach the vocabulary. There are many items at the school level. What are the things that you use while teaching vocabulary? Page number 84. Page number 84.
Okay.
Techniques to teach vocabulary. As a teacher, what are the techniques to make your students to learn the new words? Yes, you are the source for your students to get the new words. Right from the primary school to college level, as a teacher of English, it is your obligation to make them to use of vocabulary. Number one, by using objects. By using objects, you can ask them, you can teach them new words. Number one, by using objects. The teacher asks the students by showing objects. He can ask the name or he can teach the name, like using objects like labels, pictures, slides, any props, anything. Yes, say for example, I am asking you, what is this?
Scale.
What is this?
Is a scale.
Scale.
Iron scale.
Ruler, sir. Ruler.
It's
It's a scale. Scale. Students learn the new things. I may ask you, what is this?
Newspaper. It's a newspaper.
Paper. Right. This means by showing objects, teacher can make the students to learn new things. Number two, by using gestures and symbols. By using gestures and symbols. The second technique is the teacher uses symbols and gestures to present or to introduce the new words. Maybe descriptive words like adjectives, maybe prepositions, maybe nouns, maybe adverbs. The teacher may use gestures. Say, for example, now I use some gestures to try to identify the word, right? I'm showing an action.
Eating.
eating. Verb. Eating.
Eating an action word.
Have you taken
Or-
a break?
Good. Circle.
Good or circle. Adjective. Descriptive words. Yes. And
Tall and short.
tall and short. Very nice. Tall and short. Yes. The teacher may use gestures and symbols to teach new words to the students. Next, number three. Known words to unknown words. Yes. Asking synonyms, maybe antonyms, maybe one word substitutions, maybe prefixes, suffixes, synonyms, antonyms, one word substitutions, suffixes, prefixes, idioms, phrases, many words. Many words using known vocabulary, synonyms, antonyms, one word substitutions, suffixes, suffixes, prefixes, and other things. And using other categories, other category words like say for example here the list has been given here: stationery, cosmetics, furniture, utensils, farm, meals, and other things. And by using contexts, any context, situations, context, for meanings or context. Contextualization is very important to learn. You can create any context to present the new words in the classroom. Yes, by using context or by creating situation, you can make your students to learn the new words, new vocabulary. The thing is that the commitment of the English teacher always matters in the classroom. The teacher role is the most important role. Teacher should have patience while teaching vocabulary. Yes. The role of the teacher is facilitator, facilitator, mentor, facilitator, mentor, guide. If you are a facilitator, if you are a mentor, if you are a guide, you can make your students to learn new words easily. Even brainstorming activity, yes, asking the students related words of an event or incident. The teacher asks the students related words by creating brainstorming, by making their brainstorming, so that teacher's commitment, teacher's role, the teacher should take teaching as a profession, not a job. If you think that teaching is a profession, you can make your students to learn well. Teaching is not a job. Teaching is a profession. Yes, profession is more, profession is larger than the job. Job is part of a profession. So if the teacher has profession and a passion, he or she can make her learners to learn new items, to learn new words according to the context and the situations. Yes, by asking the students to read the books. Before asking them to read the books, the teacher should be a good reader. Reading is an important source for improving the passive vocabulary. You can learn many more new words only by reading. Listening, speaking, and other activities may give you a small amount of new vocabulary, but reading makes you to learn new words. Passive vocabulary is developed by reading skill. If you are a learner, if you are a reader, if you spend lot of time in the library reading different works, different books, and you can improve your vocabulary. The amount of your proficiency of language depends on the amount of vocabulary you know. In those days, Shakespeare hardly knows 25,000 of vocabulary. With the 25,000 vocabulary, Shakespeare was able to write 37 plays and 154 sonnets. So that you can imagine how vocabulary is very important in communication, in spoken communication and also written communication. Vocabulary plays an important role. Yes, the best practice of learning vocabulary is reading habit. Cultivation of the reading habits of the children is the best way to get the new words and new vocabulary. Believe that words will give flavor to your language. Yes, words are more powerful than medicine, so that you can cure the disease or you can create the disease by using the words. In order to make your learners, or in order to get a good impression on your speech or on your writing, it is a must to get a good command over the vocabulary. That is why the students are suggested to learn new words, 10 new words every day. So that with this, we can conclude the discussion on vocabulary. Right, students? Have you understood my point?
Yes, sir. Clearly.
Sir, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Shall we make a move to lesson number 9, teaching of English to literature? Right? Are you with me or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Can you switch on your video once? Can you switch on your video once, please? Yes, some of you are writing very nice. Some of you are writing with serious attending the class. It gives me an immense pleasure To look at you, it gives me immense pleasure that you are so punctual and working hard from your home. And yes, yes, it gives me energy. So if you write the notes and attend the class in such a way, in this way, and it gives me an immense pleasure. Thank you. And we move to lesson number 9.
Sir,
That is teaching of English through literature. Yes.
what is tackling difficult vocabulary? Sir, it is nothing but active and passive vocabulary, sir.
What? I didn't understand your question.
Tackling difficult vocabulary, the question is in 87th page, number 87.
Page number 87. What is that?
The second question, sir.
Tackling difficult vocabulary. Tackling means handling. How to handle the difficult vocabulary. How do you make your students to learn the difficult vocabulary? Yes. Yeah. Say for example, how to tackle. Tackle means handling. If the students are going through a passage, undoubtedly they come across some of the difficult words. The words which they do not know. At that time, what they have to do is they have to guess the meanings of the difficult words.
Okay.
Yes. While reading a text or while reading a passage, if you don't know the meanings, you have to guess the meanings of difficult words with the help of known words, so that you will be getting an idea. That is one way of handling the difficult vocabulary. Yes, right?
Sir, I
Got
have
it?
a small doubt. Sir, can I ask you?
Parimala, you have attended methodology classes also? Parimala, you have attended methodology classes, right? No?
Yes, attendance.
You attended methodology classes, right?
Yes, yes.
Good.
Sir, can I ask you one doubt, sir?
Please.
Yes, I have seen some of the kids reading the books. Okay, so parents are making the kids engaging by reading the books to learn the epic or whatever it may be to increase vocabulary. After that, what I observed is these children are becoming bookworms. Without the books, they are not able to mingle with the family members. They are good holding the subject, vocabulary, everything is good, sir. But they are not able to mingle with family members. Every time they want to read fiction or whatever it may be, books, they want to read books only. The parents are getting lot of under stress.
Yeah, here what the thing is, if you ask the students to learn the new words, they learn. But learning the new words is not enough. The contextualization of the learning word. Say for example, if you ask the students to learn some 5 new words every day, and you have to ask them to use those words according to the context or according to the situation as part of the communication, so that students may get the real exposure of the word. Simply if they read from the book, if they learn from the story book or any other book, if they don't use in the real life according to the context, they may forget it. If you ask them to use in the real life, so that they can not only learn,
So
but also they can use it.
They are good at memory also, what I observed. That is
Yes.
the problem parents are facing. Even I am also unable to give any solution or suggestions. So how to making reading the books is difficult. Their parents are feeling.
Right. That is an observation. Good. Yeah, students, lesson number 9. Language through literature. Language through literature. Teaching English through literature. Language through literature. Yes. In this, we will be discussing the importance of literature in the language learning, and also we will see how literature is used to teach the language items in the classroom. In fact, it is not a new concept. Some of you are still not muted. Please mute yourself. Some echo sound is coming from your end. Language through literature is not a new concept. It is very old concept. Very old concept. Let me give you an overview on language and literature. What is language? What is literature? Language is a tool of communication. The word language derived from the Latin word lingua, which means to share, to communicate. So that the main objective of language is for communication. Through language only, we can express our feelings, emotions, needs, and desires. But whereas literature is a written document of language. Yes. And literature is nothing but the reflection of the contemporary society. If you go through any literary text, you not only find the society but also find their habits of the contemporary people. Language cannot be developed without literature. Literature stands on the language. Language and literature are interrelated terms. Today, English has become a global language because of English literature. Yes, English literature is there, so that English language became a global language. English as a language was born in the year 466 AD. That means 5th century AD. A language, after all, it was born in the 5th century AD. Within 11 centuries, within 15 centuries, it has become a global language because of English literature. Whereas the languages which were born much before English, like Sanskrit, Arabic, Telugu, or any other language, still they are regional languages. Sanskrit is a dead language almost. Sanskrit was born much before English language. Today, you cannot see Sanskrit in the communication. Still, it is in the schools and the colleges as second language for scoring marks. It becomes a dead language. The reason is no Sanskrit literature is developed, or Sanskrit literature has not been reached to the public. The users, the readers of the Sanskrit literature is very few. No Sanskrit literature, so that Sanskrit language, no Sanskrit language. English literature is favored, and English literature inspires the people, and it is well received by the public, so that still we have literature. You understand these two concepts, language and literature, how they go hand in hand, and they complement each other. Yes, literature cannot live without language. Even language cannot live literature. Yes. The use of literature in a language classroom, it provides the enough space to the students to express their ideas, opinions, and also different aspects of the society. Yes. So, for example, Hamlet. If you are teaching Hamlet, Shakespeare's Hamlet in the classroom, as part of Hamlet teaching, you also talk about different things, different aspects of English language. Maybe new words, maybe critical thinking, maybe soft skills, maybe backgrounds, so that literature provides more opportunities to the students to use the language which is used in the particular literary text. That is why, as the teacher, you should know the importance of language through literature. Yes. In India is concerned, Madras University is the first university which gives importance to the concept language through literature. Yes, there are many advantages for using literary text. Number one, class becomes active classroom. Yes, active learning, lively classroom, interaction and a motivation is present in the classroom. Yes, and through literature, the teachers can contextualize the different language items in the classroom. Yes, so that definitely English language is taught well by using English literature. Any poem or any text, you can use the literature. And also, there is a lot of importance of using literature in language classroom. Don't think that I am teaching only Macbeth, only Hamlet, only Dover Beach poem, only Bangalore Sellers poem, only Road Not Taken poem. No. Apart from the poet or prose or drama, you are handling with language items also. Yes. Language enrichment and cultural enhancement and personal involvement, because language is part of the society. Yes, language is not learnt isolated way. Language is learnt from the collection. If you want to learn any language, say for example, you want to learn French. How do you learn French? Maybe internet, maybe by teacher. No, you have to communicate with someone or somebody. And authentic material are the materials that are not meant for the teaching, as part of life, maybe using advertisements, pamphlets, posters, bulletins, newspapers. All general materials can be used to teach language. A good teacher does not want textbook. Yes, a good language teacher may not go with the textbook. Without textbook also, if you are intelligent enough, if you are creative enough, you can make your classroom more actively, more elaboratively, more lively by using certain authentic materials. With a piece of newspaper, you can make your learners to learn the language skills. You're going to school. While going to school, you can buy the Hindu newspaper and you can ask your students, you can cut the Hindu newspaper into 10, 20 pieces or 30, 40 pieces. Ask each piece to students. You ask one student to write an essay, some of them a role play, some of them report, some of them identifying grammatical items, so that at the end of the class, the entire classroom will be engaged with different activities by using authentic materials. Yes, your creativity matters. Your commitment matters. As the teacher's commitment and the teacher's creativity is matters. So that the teacher should have this thing, and the teacher should have the qualities of this. Yes, literature is useful the language learning process, like making the students to involve them personally, personal involvement. Yes, personal involvement is important. How much you teach is not important. In what way you teach is important. At the end of the class, you must see the smile on the face of the children. Yes, certain features like universality, non-triviality, personal relevance, variety of experiences, suggestive power, interest, and ambiguity, so that you can use any literary text in order to develop their language skills. For teaching literature, you can ask them to develop any one of the skills. For example, say you are teaching poetry. If you teach poetry, under the poetry, you can develop their pronunciation skills, their reading skills, their vocabulary, LSRW skills, listening, speaking, reading, and writing skills, and all the aspects can be developed. So that literature teaching is not to teach beautiful love stories or romantic stories or giving you summary type of thing, while handling any literary text, maybe prose or poetry or an one act play or drama or fiction. As the teacher, you have to deal with many aspects of the language. Yes, this concept can be called teaching language by using literary text. It can be also called language through literature. Language through literature. You are carrying a literary text to the classroom. You teach literature. At the same time, while teaching literature, you can look at various linguistic aspects, language aspects, from vocabulary to grammar, skills, even soft skills, life skills. At the end of any story, prose, drama, or fiction, you may come up with a conclusion in the form of a fable, in the form of a lesson. That may be a soft skill. What do you mean by soft skills? Soft skills are interpersonal skills through which you can make your students to acquire the employability skills in order to make those skills to live the life in a meaningful way and to make them to be part of learning, right? This is
Sir,
about teaching language through literature. Okay,
sir,
students?
what is ambiguity?
Ambiguity means confusion, dilemma. The state of dilemma is called ambiguity. Ambiguity
Thank
means
you, sir.
dilemma, confusion, chaos. Okay, students, have understood my point of teaching language through literature?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Switch on video, please. Switch on your video, please, and give me sign of learning. Are you able to learn it? Yes. Yes. Good. 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 Yes. This final classroom is very very interesting and interactive classroom. Right. I'm not going alone. Yes, I am walking with you, and I'm sure that you are learning many more important aspects of paper one. Students, lesson number 10, listening and its sub skills. Yes, I know I will teach you up to 15. So, 10th one listening, 11 speaking, 12 reading, 13 writing. 4 skills, LSRW skills. Yes, LSRW skills. Listening, speaking, reading, and writing. 10, 11, 12, 13. 10, 11, 12, 13. LSRW skills. I'm sure that you will be learning 10 to 13 LSW skills, 14 approaches, 14, 15 approaches. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, students? Yeah. Let me give you an overview of LSW skills first. If you understand this concept of LSW skills, then it is easy to you to understand each skill separately. Yes. After the Second World War, there was a lot of research done on language learning.
Okay.
Many scholars have come up many theories of language learning. Among them, one of the language scholars whose name was Harold E. Palmer. Harold E. Palmer. Harold. Harold E. Palmer. Palmer. Harold E. Palmer. Harold. Harold E. Palmer. Harold E. Palmer, he was talking about language skills. First time he has given a list of language skills and put them in the order L, S, R, W. Listening, speaking, reading, and writing. L, S, R, W.
Okay.
This order was given first time by Harold E. Palmer, so that he was considered as father of language skills in the English speaking world. Yes, Harold E. Palmer was father of language skills. Yes, he was father of language skills. He says language learning means learning the four skills, namely listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Language learning means learning the four skills. Yes. If you want to learn English or any language, first you listen to language. You listen to language. Then you have to speak the language. Then you have to read it. Finally, you have to write it. So your learning process begins with listening and it will be completed by writing. These four skills are called listening, speaking, reading, and writing. So that he was considered as father of language skills. He was considered as father of language skills. Yes. According to Harold E. Palmer, if you want to learn any language, you must know, you must get command over the four skills, namely listening, speaking, reading, and writing. We know listening and speaking, all the people can do listening and speaking. Only literates can do reading and writing. Rest of all the people, you can see reading and writing, right? Yes. Say for example, you want to learn English. First you can listen to English language, listening to conversations, listening to speeches, listening to news, listening to dialogues of English language. Then speak. You have to imitate. You have to speak what you listened to. You try to speak. Then reading. You must read something. The text written in English language, maybe poems, prose, newspapers, the text to promote your reading abilities. Finally, you have to write. These are four important aspects of language. Further, what happened after that? Many language scholars have expressed the same opinion of language skills. Many. Francis Bacon, I must tell you about Francis Bacon, Francis, Francis Bacon, Bacon, Bacon. Very important writer, was called father of English essay. He was called father of English essay. Wrote important essays like of studies, of truth, of knowledge, whatnot. He wrote a number of essays. First time he has given a scientific definition for essay. I must quote his definition for importance of language skills. He says, conference makes a ready man. Conference makes a ready man. R-E-A-D-Y. Conference makes a ready man. Reading makes a full man. Reading makes a full man. Writing makes an exact man. Writing makes an exact man. I will repeat his quotations. Conference makes a ready man. Reading makes a full man. Writing makes an exact man. What does it mean? He says that conference includes listening and speaking. If you speak to somebody, it makes you ready. And reading makes, reading makes a, conference makes a ready man. Reading makes a full man. If you read English, read more English text, English books, or any literature. Full man, a complete man is possible by reading. Who is a full man in the life? One who reads more. What is the best utilization of time? The best utilization of time is the time one who uses his maximum time for reading, then it is the maximum optimum use of time makes you full man. Writing makes an exact man. If you are able to write something, then you will be an exact man. This is observation by Francis Bacon, who was spending a lot of time in reading and writing the entire life. From this perspective, if you want to learn any foreign language, what you have to do is you must listen to it. Yes, listen to it. It is practically proved. You want to learn English language, no need to do MA English. If you live in English speaking area for 2 years, by listening and by speaking, you can understand and you can speak well. For listening and speaking, no need to go, no need to do any other course. MA English is not required. The people of Nagaland, they speak good English. Fisher people, fishermen, they speak good English. Nagaland fisher community, though they are illiterate, they speak good English because they listen to English language, they speak English language daily. Listening and speaking are very useful to learn or to communicate any language. And reading and writing is useful to you to write the meaningful sentences. Written communication is possible. So from this perspective, we go to listening, speak skill, listening and sub skills, speaking and its sub skills, reading and its sub skills, and writing and its sub skills. Every skill has its own skills. So that listening, what are the sub skills of listening? Right, speaking, and what are the sub skills of speaking? Every main skill has some set of sub skills. In this lesson, you need to understand this. Our lesson number 10 is listening and sub skills. In this, we identify the definition of listening, the process of listening, and also the sub skills of listening and strategies to develop listening skill. Okay, now we will move to each skill. First one, listening. It's okay to you? Have you got an idea of language skills? What do you mean by language skills and the importance of language skills, right?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Listening. What do you mean by listening? Listening is something different from hearing. Hearing and listening are not the same. Listening is different, hearing is different. In the notebook, one side you can put listening, other side you can put hearing. In between, take the line. I will give some points in order to understand difference between listening and hearing. Listening and hearing. Listening one side, hearing other side, in between line. You see the difference between listening and hearing, right? One, listening, focused way of attending, focused way. Hearing, unfocused way, unfocused way. Second point, listening, specific activity. Students, you have to mute. Some of you have not muted, so echo sound is coming from your end. Second point, listening, specific activity. Hearing, general or casual activity. Hearing, general or casual activity. Next, third point, listening, voluntary activity. Voluntary activity. Hearing, involuntary activity. Next, number 4. Listening, conscious effort. Conscious. CONSCIOUS. Conscious effort. Hearing, subconscious effort. subconscious effort. Listening, only one activity. Only one activity. Hearing, other than one activity. Listening, memory for long time. Memory for long time. Hearing, memory for short time. Short time. Listening, to a lecture or speech. Listening to a lecture or speech. Hearing, to a song or conversation. A song or conversation. Listening, purpose of attending and responding. Purpose of attending and responding. Hearing, just knowing. Just knowing. Listening, sense oriented. Sense, SENSE, sense. That means meaning oriented, sense oriented. Hearing, sound oriented, SOUND, sound oriented. Yes, these are the qualities of listening and hearing. Listening is something which is above hearing. If you attend any speech or conversation in a very casual manner, that becomes hearing. Or if you understand a lecture, is listening. Now you tell me, are you listening to my class or hearing my class? What you are doing
Listening, sir.
Listening, sir.
means what? Now you tell me, what is listening? What is listening?
With pay attention.
Lectures.
My concentration.
Longer memory.
Understanding.
After discussing so many aspects, you can come to a conclusion to define the word listening. How to define the word listening? Listening is an ability of understanding one's speech or one's is called listening. An ability of understanding speech or sounds is called listening. An ability of understanding, complete understanding, comprehensive understanding of speech sounds is called listening. And many students in the classroom, they hear the class. If they hear the class, they may forget it after some time. If you listen to the class, you cannot forget it for a long time. I know most of you are familiar with your poems that you were taught at your schooling, maybe mother tongue or maybe in English. Still, you can say some of the poems. You can recite some of the poems.
Example, twinkle, twinkle.
Now you are able to listen now, but now some of you, if you attend the class now, you may forget it after the class. The thing is that you are hearing the class. Listening is a voluntary activity. It requires it requires lot of concentration from the listener's side. It plays an important role. It enhances the skills of speaking. If you listen to somebody properly, you can speak properly. If you go to an interview, you must have good listening skills. Don't ask the interview panel members again and again, sorry sir, can you repeat the question? If you ask the same question repeatedly, sorry sir, can you repeat the question? Then they come to a conclusion that you have poor listening skills. One who have poor listening skills they may not be the good learners. Yes, that is why listening always plays an important role in the learning process. Anything, if you want to learn anything, first you must listen to it. That is why in the order LSW, listening plays the front step. Listening is the basic step. Or your learning, and your learning begins from your listening. Yes. If you don't listen, you don't learn anything. With understanding, you can go to the characteristics of listening or listening as a process. You can see page number 105. In that, you can identify two process of listening: top down process, bottom up process. Top to down, top to down is called top down, bottom to up is called bottom up. Top down process, bottom up process. Top down process means you can understand the total sentence, you can understand the topic of others, you can follow the directions, you can receive the emotional response of others. This process is called top down process. Yes, it is the highest one. Bottom up, bottom to up, down to up. Bottom means down, bottom up means identifying of the sounds. Basic level, identifying of the sound, words recognition is called bottom up process. So that top down means top is getting the whole idea, bottom up means getting the sounds. These are two different types of things we have. And sub skills are concerned. Sub skills. What are the sub skills of listening? Page number 107. You can see there are many sub skills. Among that, one, listening for gist. Gist means theme, summary. Listening for gist, summary. And listening for specific information. When we listen to someone or somebody, you must be specific. What do you listen to them? Then listening with great attention, that is detailed listening. Detailed listening. Yes. You try to understand these sub skills. While listening, you must understand not only the sounds, but also understand the mood of the speaker, the tone of the speaker, the context of speaker's words, the implied meaning of the speaker's words. Now all of you are listening to me. What do you understand from my class? What do you understand? What do you understand my tone? What tone I am using? I'm using, yes, very serious tone. I am not jovial. I am not using jovial tone. Yes, by attending my class, you can understand. By listening to me, you can understand that I am using serious tone. Yes. What is my mood? I am in a friendly mood. And the meaning of the speaker's words. Say, for example, yes, you are irritating me again and again. Then I will say, you are asking me silly questions. I will say, you are very intelligent student. That means what? Really, are you intelligent students? No. Satirically, if you understand the tone, mood, context, and implied meaning of the speaker's words. Yes. Implied meaning of the speaker's words. You must understand that while listening. Yes. Simply, words do not carry the meaning. Words with actions carry the meaning. Words with mood carry the meaning. By listening to somebody, not only the words, but also their action, their mood, the context of the words you have to understand. These are the sub skills of listening. Yes, coming to the strategies, listening strategies. Listening strategies are two types: cognitive strategies and metacognitive strategies. You can find these two strategies in your page number 109. Cognitive strategies means mental activity. Cognitive domain means mental domain. This part is called cognitive. This part is called cognitive. We have the three domains in the learning process: cognitive domain, affective domain, psychomotor domain. Cognitive domain means head, related to head. Affective domain means heart, responding. The psychomotor domain means arms. Listening strategies, cognitive strategies, that is mental activities. The strategies that are dealing with the mental activities, comprehension, storing, memory, all the things are called cognitive strategies. Metacognitive means conscious or unconscious mental activities. Yes, that means guessing, assessing situation, monitoring, self-evaluation, self-testing. These are called metacognitive strategies. So that you should know what are the cognitive strategies, what are the metacognitive strategies. Yes.
Sir, once tell
And
cognitive.
cognitive strategies means mental activities. That is comprehension. Comprehension means complete understanding. Memory and recognition, retrieval. These activities are called cognitive strategies. Yes, that means after listening, you have to understand. After listening, you have to keep them in memory. After listening, no, you have to give the feedback whenever necessary. These are cognitive strategies. Cognitive means mind. These are called cognitive strategies. Metacognitive means other than mind. Maybe conscious or unconscious activities are called metacognitive strategies. So that successful listening is possible by adopting strategies. Yes, different strategies. So that thus listening skill plays an important role in the learning process, especially when we learn target language like English. Listening skill is the most important one. Before may before teaching something, you must ask your children, you must ask your students in the classroom, listen to you carefully. That is why the teacher should be a good role model in speaking English, in telling the things. In narration, yes, the how you narrate, it always matters in the classroom. How you teach always matters in the classroom. How you speak always matters in the classroom. Your students in the classroom, they learn mannerism from the teacher, from you. If you are the teacher, they learn mannerism consciously, subconsciously from the teacher. The students cannot take the parents as the role models, but they take the teacher as the role model because they they get the inspiration from the teachers. So the way you speak always matters in the classroom. An intelligent teacher cannot make all the students intelligent, but a dull teacher, a lazy teacher always creates lazy learners. So that as the teacher of English, as the language teacher, it is your obligation to make your learners to take part in activities. Yes, activities provide the learners to learn and more and more. In that way, you have to understand the listening skill. Okay, students, done? Done, huh?
Okay.
Listening.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good, 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 good.
Yes, sir.
Yes, most of the students are able to catch my point. You are able to get my arguments. Now we move to speaking skill, the second skill in the language learning, speaking. Yes. In this, we will be handling the definition of speaking and why do we speak, and various sub skills of speaking, and also various activities of speaking to develop the speaking skills of the children in the classroom. Yes. What do you mean by speaking? Can you identify anyone? Can you give the definition for speaking? What do you, yeah, for listening, I have given you definition. The ability of attending one's speech is called listening. In that way, you can understand. Can you give the definition for speaking? How do you define the word speaking?
To communicate with the or share our views with each other for communication purpose.
Simple definition. Simple definition.
Ability to talk.
which is
Ability to talk.
sharing our feel.
Ability to talk, right? Ability to talk. Yes. I can give the very simple definition for speaking is, speaking is, yes, production of meaningful speech sounds in an organized manner is called speaking. Production of meaningful speech sounds in an organized manner. It is speaking. Not sounds, meaningful speech sounds. Say, for example, ha, hu, pa, hi, ma, ka, la, ba, la. It is not speaking. Though they are sounds, it is not speaking. Articulation of sounds in an organized manner is called speaking. Yes. Through speaking, you have to communicate your ideas. You must communicate. Speaking may be casual, or speaking or focused, but talking must be focused. There is a slight difference between speaking and talking. We speak. Every day we speak. Maybe with purpose, without purpose we speak. But when you talk, there must be specific. Talks are going on between government and employees. Talks. Headmaster is going to talk on the timetables. Talk must be focused. Talk must be specific. But whereas speaking may be focused, may be general. Yes. Why should we speak? Speaking is a reflection of one's ideas, one's thoughts. If you don't speak, you cannot understand. By your speech only, you will be assessed what is passing on your mind. One's mind can be understood better by listening to them. By listening to them, that means if they speak, you can understand. In the long days, in the olden days, face was an index of mind. Face. By seeing face, we can assess what type of man he is, what type of woman she is. But now, face is not index of mind. Tongue is an index of mind. Tongue, that is speaking. Yes. The way you speak, that reflects your thoughts, that reflects your feelings, that reflects your opinions. It is the reflection of one's mind, the ideas which you have. Yes. Most of the times, we can win the people by speaking. Yes. Speech is an important gift given by the nature or God to the human beings. You can make the world, you can become a champion by speaking. Speaking is an important skill. Yes. You can become warrior. American President Obama, though he is black, though he is African, he won the millions of white people by his tongue, by his speech. and he became the president of America, we know. Yes. Even Trump lost his seat, lost his power because his inability or improper use of language, which leads to the racial discrimination, which leads to racial subjects. That is why speaking is an important skill in everyday life. Yes. The main and the most important language skills, I can say, though it places second place, LSRW, it is second place, but in fact, it is the most important one. Yes. As the teacher, your duty must be to make your students in the classroom to speak good English, fluently and accurately, to make your students speak English fluently and accurately. Fluency and accuracy, both are very important while speaking. Fluency, they must speak in a flow. Accuracy, they must speak correct English. Which is more important? Fluency is important or accuracy is important?
Two are important, sir.
Fluency is important, not accuracy.
Fluency is important.
You should give importance to fluency. Don't give importance to accuracy. Accuracy will be given importance gradually. If you ask the students to speak English accurately, then they will be discouraged, demotivated. They do not come forward to speak. They get fear of your mistakes. Mistakes are very common while speaking. Without mistakes, nobody learns the language. Trial and error theory. Thorndike's trial and error theory says, Thorndike's trial and error theory says, mistakes are always common in the learning process, and mistakes are not always mistakes. Yesterday's mistakes become the right things today. Today's mistakes will become tomorrow's rights. So that as the teacher, you should believe that mistakes are very common in the learning process. You should have that patience. All English teachers should know that mistakes are common. Noam Chomsky believes that without mistakes, nobody learns the language. Give them chance to rectify their mistakes. Yes. From this understanding, we need to understand the speaking. Speaking is very specific and purpose of communication, as I told you. Yes. Through speaking only, many problems will be solved. Yes. We can share our opinion, message, desire. It plays an important role. Yes. I must tell you a old proverb. Speech is silver, silence is gold. Is it real? No, it can't be real. Speech is silver, silence is gold. No. Speech is gold, silence is silver. You have to speak, but you should know what has to be spoken, what has not to be spoken, what to speak, what not to speak. If you speak properly, speech is always gift. And some of the things that silence is a good remedy to solve the problems. No, silence is not the good remedy. Speaking properly is the good remedy. Yes, you are the best judge for your deeds in the real life. You have to convey your ideas, your opinions in a proper way. Proper way. Yes. That is why speaking skill has to be cultivated by the teacher in the classroom. Various language scholars have come up with various theories to say the functions of speaking. Now we can look at page number 117. Now look at page number 117, which gives you Brown and Euler opinion. Functions of speaking. There are three functions of speaking which we do. 1.
నాకు తన్నప్పుడు ఉంది.
Speaking for interaction. 2. Speaking for transaction. 3. Teaching for performance. These are 3 functions of speaking. As part of our communication, we do speak for 3 purposes: interaction, transaction, and performance. Yes. First one, interaction. That means social functions, politeness, to build the relationships, interaction. And second one is transaction. Yes. In this, we focus on various transactions, all transactions from information, clarifications, questions, intentions, comparisons, agreeing, disagreeing, and all. And the third one, performance. You can see performance. Why do we speak? We speak for our performance, to convey the message, sequence, in orderly presentation. These are 3 important functions of speaking. Now you can come to page number 121, which gives you sub-skills of speaking. What are the sub-skills of speaking? Yes. You should know every main skill is associated with some sub-skills. Listening has some sub-skills, speaking has some sub-skills, and also reading and writing has some sub-skills. As the skill, speaking has some sub-skills. 1, fluency. You should speak fluently. You have to make your students to speak fluently. Yes. Then number 2, accuracy. 1, speaking fluently. 2, speaking accurately. Accurately means with proper pronunciation, with proper words. Number 3, using different functions like advice, sharing apologies, request, or asking. Different functions. Then 4, appropriacy. Appropriately you should speak. Then 5, turn-taking skills. Turn-taking. That means eliciting or giving information. The next one, length. Length, appropriate length in the situation. Then 6th one, responding and initiating. Responding. We speak to respond. Sometimes we initiate the discussion. Then 8th one, repair and repetition. Repetitive purpose we speak. And sometimes we use grammar and different words. Finally, we speak to make a discourse. Discourse makers. That means you want to give an argument. You can speak on something. Discourse. Yes. For discussions, debates, you can talk. Yes. What are the principles of teaching speaking? What are the principles of teaching speaking? Yes. You can look at page number 125. There are many principles to teach speaking skill. Yes. Number 1, giving importance to fluency and accuracy. Yes. At the beginning, fluency, gradually accuracy. This is the first principle. Second principle is pair work or group work. You ask your children in a pair or in a group. The students learn more in groups rather than the individual efforts. That is why you have to make them to speak in a pair or group. Even individual activities. That means asking them describe the picture, asking them self-introduction, asking them to sing a song, asking them to tell a story, asking them to describe an incident or event. Students, some of you are not muted. Please ask them to mute.
శ్యామల గారు మ్యూట్ చేసుకోండి.
Yeah, that is why you wasted one class. For the first class also it happened, and I was not able to continue the class. Whenever you come to the class, you ask your students to mute themselves. Yes, and there are a lot of things that make speaking difficulty. Lot of things. What are the things that make speaking difficulty? In page number 127, almost 8 aspects that make speaking difficulty. Clustering means grouping, then redundancy, then reduced forms, performance variables, colloquial language, delivery, stress and intonation, interaction. These are the things that make speaking difficulty.
Sir,
The thing is that, yeah, all are discussed in the book. Don't worry about that. As the teacher, what are the activities to develop the speaking skills of your children? The activities to develop the the speaking skills of the children in the classroom. How do you develop the speaking skills of the students?
communicate.
The tasks are activities to be taken up to develop the speaking skills of the children. I will give you almost 10 activities. You can practice in your classroom also. If you are a teacher, you can practice in your classroom. One, self-introduction.
Can I write, sir?
Yes. Self-introduction. Yes. The teacher can ask the students to give the self-introduction so that at least they can open their mouth. Number 2, sharing the dreams by the students, sharing the dreams, goals of the students. You can ask your student to share their dream to goal, then students can open their mouth. Number 3, describing a picture by the student. Describing a picture by a student. You can ask your student to describe any picture so that they can come. Number 4, singing a song by a student. Singing a song by a student. You can ask your students to sing songs. Number 5, telling a story by a student. Telling a story by a student. Next, role play. Role plays are the best one. Role play is the best one to promote speaking skills of the children. The teacher gives the roles to the students. The students are supposed to enact in the given roles. Speaking skill is cultivated by role play. And debate, DEBAT, debates. Then elocution, 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 speech competitions type of thing, elocution. Then pair work, PAIR, pair work. Then group projects, GROUP, group projects. Then group presentations, GROUP, group presentations. You can ask your students to make the group presentation. Dramatization, DRAMATIZATION, dramatization. You can ask your students to enact in a drama. Dramatization. Group discussion is also an important one to promote the speaking skill of the children, right? These are the activities that are useful to teach speaking skills or to develop the speaking skills of the children in the classroom by the English teacher.
Sir,
English
language
teacher.
exhibitions.
Hmm?
Language exhibitions.
Yes, many type of language games.
Okay.
I can say language games. Any language games can be taken up. The main object of the teacher is to make the students to open their mouths. The students are to, yes, they have to open their mouth.
Sir,
Yes.
what is the meaning that redundancy, sir?
Hmm?
Difficult to speak. Redundancy.
Redundancy is something, yes, while speaking, here two meanings. One is speaking about the abstract ideas. Speaking about abstract ideas. One. The second one is while speaking, if you miss any word, the meaning cannot be conveyed. While speaking, if you miss any word, the meaning cannot be conveyed. Yes, these are some of the activities and strategies.
Could you give an example?
Yes, redundancy means, say for example, I am giving you an explanation about the importance of language skills. I have missed two words while speaking. Then you cannot understand what I am trying to convey. Yes, redundancy means in Telugu, what we call is పదాలను మింగటం. Yes, పదాలను మింగటం. Slipping of some of the words while speaking. Yes, missing of the words. Missing of the words while speaking. If you miss any important word and others cannot understand what you want to convey. Yes, these are some of the important areas, and of this with this we can.
Sir, redundant. Give an example.
Quiz.
That's why I have given the example for redundancy. Redundancy is something that complete speaking. You understand? Complete speaking. That means while speaking, if you slip any words, if you forget any words, you cannot convey the message what you are speaking. That is, of course, that is the quality of language also. Redundancy is something while speaking you have to convey the complete idea. If you slip any one of the words, sound words, important words, others cannot understand your message. So while speaking you must be careful the words, right words at right place. If you don't put the right words at right place, or if you slip any words, that leads to the confusion, and it carries, sometimes it miscommunicates.
Sir,
Right.
colloquial language.
Colloquial language means slang language, daily language, informal language. Slang, daily, informal language, which is not formal, which is used within the circle, family or friend circle.
Mother
Very
tongue, like
ordinary language.
sir, like mother tongue.
All mother tongues are at our homes colloquial languages only. Yes, for example, your mother tongue is Telugu. You speak many Telugu words at your home. Maybe sometimes you cannot speak those Telugu words outside the home. Colloquial language means very informal communication. Informal use of language is colloquial language. In
Okay.
Telugu, we call it as Vaduka Bhasha. Yes, for any words, for any important words, at our home we use some of the words at our own interest, but we don't use those words outside the home or outside the close friends. Right?
Okay.
Stress and intonation that is commonly are happening, but redundancy sometimes
Redundancy also, we miss while speaking, we miss some words out of fear, out of lack of awareness. We cannot use properly. Because of stammering also, some other people may not speak properly because of stammering. Some of them intentionally forget the words or accidentally they forget the words. Redundancy is taking place in the speaking. Yes, redundancy is taking place in the speaking. And that, no, because of fear, shy, inhibitions, and sometimes intentionally, no, redundancy is taking place while speaking. So speaker must be careful while speaking. They have to use proper words, right words at right place, so that others can understand your communication. Otherwise, communication barriers take place, right? This is about speaking skills, students. Now we have done, we have 3 units, 12, 13, 14. In fact, I have done 4 classes as per the schedule. Yes, I have been given only 4 classes. I do not know what other teacher is teaching you. First 15 lessons are mine, and other 15 lessons are by other teacher. So that I can stop after at the 15th lesson. So 12, 13, and 14. I will be dealing with 12, 13, and 12, 13, 14, and 15. Tomorrow 4 lessons. I will be dealing with you 4 lessons. Yes, right? You understand? Have you understood today's lessons?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right, students. Most of you are showing some symbol, some symbol, so that I can understand that you are following me. And maybe tomorrow is going to be our last class, my last class, I have been given only 5 classes to you. In fact, for regular classes, it requires a lot of hours. Not no, for class it requires a lot of hours. So without wasting time, I have given you enough information and the required information in the simplified manner. Maybe tomorrow I will be teaching you maybe 4 units, 4 lessons, a simple way, right? And if time permits, I can take the extra class also. Yeah, we'll see. Right. Have a nice day, students.
Thank you, sir.
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 Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.